No. Trust me. This is a global sport. My name's Jason Ferguson and I'm chairman of the World Professional Billiards and Snooker Association, and I'm the director of the World Snooker Tour, which people will be accustomed to seeing on television. I remember my PE teacher telling me that I was the worst sports person in the school. And I remember to this day people saying to me, Jason, what are you doing? This is an English sport, Jason. It will never work. My view was it always has to be globalised. And I think the UK and China is a great example that's built a real bridge.
So you said as when you brought Sting to the UK,
yes.
I wonder who paid the bill.
We picked it up, the governing body.
So except the Ding Junhui, what happens? What's the story for Wu Yize? You joking?
No.
So Jason, snooker is typical British sports. Can I say that?
I think UK is in its DNA. I think the British sportsmanship and values.
What is the British and UK difference? I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's the same. But look,
So what's the right way? UK is.
Well, snooker originates from the great country houses. This is why people wear waistcoats and bow ties, because they were dressed for dinner. They used to go to the billiard room, like Downton Abbey, and that's where snooker comes from.
Gentlemen's.
It is. It was considered the gentleman's game. And I hear this in China say it's one of the great gentleman's games of the world.
I see.
And so it does come from that old English aristocratic background. But it is now a sport for the people, of course.
Yeah. Oh, right now. So it was the sports for the gentleman club to fit into the traditional British culture.
Correct.
And now it's the sports for people. But explain to me how snooker from the UK to modern China now. I want to dig in more stories about Chinese players. Can I?
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tell me as much as you can.
I think first of all, I think Chinese people obviously love snooker. Now, I think it has a lot going for it. It's dress code, it's traditions, it's formal, it's also a sport of great concentration, which requires great discipline and great technical skill. And I think these things together, it's almost like a martial art without the fighting, because it has that mental power that's required. And I think this is one of the reasons that China's embraced this sport so much. But it's also very cool, it's nice, we've got lots of young cool players around, it's a beautiful environment to be in. It's entertaining whether you play, whether you watch it or whatever. So it's really great to see it growing. The most exciting thing for me is just seeing how young some of the players are now.
How
in
young
China.
they are.
I've seen players playing around 6 years old,
You're
playing
joking.
very well as well.
You joking?
No,
in China?
Yes, standing on a box, dragging this box around the table and playing shots. It's incredible. In fact, we just ran the Women's World Snooker Championship in Dongguan in China, Chongqing. There was a young girl in there, 9 years old, competing in a world championship. A 9-year-old girl. I mean, the players are getting younger and they're getting better. And it's incredible.
That's the message. 9 years olds competing the world championship.
Yes.
In China, Dongguan.
Unbelievable. It's amazing how young the players are, and I think that's one thing that's exciting about the sport going forward, because we've generally speaking, historically been an older age group.
Now changing to modern China.
Now modern China has brought this young, cool, really good look that we want.
Yeah.
I think many sports in the world would can't believe our audience. We have a very mixed audience, both men and women, very young, a more affluent audience these days than we've ever seen. So.
Wow. Okay. So you see the sports evolution. You can say that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very exciting.
So how did you involve in the snooker business then?
From playing originally.
Did you? So you were a player before, professional player?
I turned professional in 1990 and enjoyed a good career for 10 years. I played for 14 years, but for 10 years seriously, with the highest ranking of 28 in the world. So I played at the Crucible Theatre 3 times.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But actually the sport was whilst it had had its boom in the 1980s, the sport had gone into decline. It was shrinking, clubs were closing, it was mainly sponsored by a tobacco industry where advertising was being restricted. So the sport was hurting and it was shrinking, and that's why I got involved in the administration, to try and change it forever.
When you mentioned about the sports back to 1980s, so the snooker haven't get enough world attention. So what did you do to make it so booming like today?
Of course, it always had appeal. We had great sporting moments. People say, Jason, what do you do for work? And it's hard to describe. We create great sporting moments, Jojo. That's what we do. My view was, it always has to be globalized. We have to go to global markets. We have to open up to global brands. To do that, we need global markets. So, my drive since day one of being an administrator has been to globalize this sport, and it's still my drive today. And it's booming in many countries around the world.
How much story you know about Ding Junhui?
I've known Ding Jun晖a long time.
And he's a good friend of yours
already,
right?
I've known him a long time. He was just a very young teenager when I first met him. He was a young amateur player. He'd been recommended as one of the talents from China at a time when there was hardly any snooker in China at all. When I first started working with China, you would struggle to find a snooker table. It's a huge step to convert that market. Chinese billiards still exists. It still does very well.
It's very common.
It is.
For
participation, for elite performance and aspiration, snooker is the one that commands the global audiences. But yeah, Ding was just a young player and with stars in his eyes. He was very quiet.
He's barely still very quiet now.
You say that, but now he's very nice. He chats. His English is very good. I really enjoy his company now.
Right?
Back then, he didn't say a single word. I remember we took him to an academy in Thailand, because this was an Asian academy. He was training there with other players, which helped him. We then brought him to the UK. He trained with some of the players in the UK, and again with the help of support from China to do that. And actually then went on in 2005 to win the China Open. And this was the moment where snooker boomed. It became popular overnight.
2005 in China, after
China Open. Ding Jun晖.
Ding Jun晖won the China Open.
Yes,
right?
yes. Yeah. And he's inspired the whole nation.
He did.
He did. He was only one.
He does.
Yeah. But he was only one, and there were only a few clubs, and there were only a few snooker tables. We now have our academy in Beijing. We've got lots of talent pathways coming through. Do you know there are now 300,000 billiard clubs in China? That's an official record. 300,000 billiard clubs in China.
Wow.
If you had said to me 15 years ago, Jason, there'll be 300,000 clubs in China by the time you've finished, I would say, don't be silly. It's unbelievable, the number.
Yeah.
And just recently, I was at a trade show in Guangzhou, GBE. It's a trade show based on the billiard industry. And there's everything there from table manufacturers to cloth, balls, cues, equipment, but purely for our industry. This used to be one small hall, this trade show. It's now 7 halls the size of football pitches. That's how big the industry is in China now.
Oh, wow. So you said when you brought Ding to the UK, what do you mean by you brought the Ding? Who supports the Ding? This was
during my first term as chairman. I served a short term as chairman between early 2000s. So I ended in 2004. But actually prior to that, we'd set up an academy in Thailand, which I mentioned, to help the Asian players, and we were engaged with all those countries. And they were sending their best players that they could find. And that was great. But actually the next step was to get players in the UK. So I established under international relations, this little department that I'd established back then. We established a program to bring in players from the Asian Academy to the UK, base them there for 1 or 2 months, let them train with other professional players who were playing on the tour in the UK. And this was really the big shift in those players going on to do well, because most of the players were in the UK. 20 years ago, you could look at the World Snooker rankings and you would struggle to find an overseas player.
Yeah, it's all the British.
Today, it's totally global. Which
right.
is, something I'm very proud of. Everybody gets the same chance.
So it was your idea, bring the international players to the UK and train with the top players in the UK?
Yes, and I was working with a great man called Terry Griffiths. Terry Griffiths was the 1979 World Snooker Champion, won the title at the Crucible Theatre, the first time he'd ever played in it. Terry's son is actually now the head coach in Hong Kong. In China, Hong Kong, we have an academy structure there, and he's actually the resident coach there. Wayne Griffiths is a wonderful man and a wonderful coach, as was his father. And I was working with Terry Griffiths at the time, and he was head of coaching and development. And between us, we came up with this concept: how are we going to expand the sport? Because the sport was shrinking.
Yeah. So you support, I guess you funding them as well to get the visa?
Yes, it was
partially funding or fully support.
Well, yeah, it was about creating a funded project where we could contact our partners in China, the CBSA. They could send players over, and they would be taken care of with accommodation and their everyday needs while they were here, in a safe environment. Because it's a big thing. Sending your child overseas, it's a big thing.
It's also back to early 90s.
Yes.
I don't know when was that?
This would have been late 90s. Late 90s, 99, 2000, 2001, around this time.
So that's players training in the UK. It's impossible for the family can afford.
Yes.
Because the action rate was 1 to 16.
Correct.
And then it's impossible to get professional trains there.
Yes.
I wonder who paid the bill.
We picked it up, the governing body. We funded this department to fund the project, to bring in players from Asia, to help grow those markets. The whole project cost £50,000, start to finish.
50,000.
Now, it seems, okay, it's a lot of money, but it seems like a tiny amount of money considering the scale of what we were doing.
Yeah.
The whole project cost £50,000.
Yeah.
And
per player?
No, for the whole project, because we based them in with other players. The academy structures were already here.
Yeah.
The only cost was bringing them over, flying them over, making sure they've got a hotel or somewhere to stay.
Place to accommodate.
So it was a set-up project from the WPBSA. It was funded by us to try and expand the sport. And I can even remember this project being criticised at the time. That's the change in attitudes that we have today.
What was the criticism?
Well, the criticism was, Jason, it's an English sport. What are you doing?
50,000.
£50,000. Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you doing?
So basically, you just block all those criticisms.
I said, no, trust me.
Yeah.
We have to globalise.
I know what I'm doing.
We have to globalise.
Right.
Even back then, I was very inexperienced,
actually,
but I enjoyed the expansion of this sport very much.
Yeah. I guess what's Ding Junhui get support from your support, and now he's doing the same thing to support other players.
Yeah, I think it's very good to see that. I think to have Ding as an inspirational leader, shall we say, in an academy where he knows he's got the Chinese players. It's great to see. It's great to see that happening, as it is with Victoria's academy. We have Jiao Xintong based there. Most of the Chinese players are in and around Sheffield, split between these academies. But they're in safe places. They're in good academies. They're training properly every day, and they have good Chinese food nearby, and they can feel comfortable, and there are Chinese speakers around if they're struggling. But I've seen massive changes in the players, because the early days Ding didn't speak any English at all. Communication was impossible, but imagine how he felt, as a young boy coming here, and he must have been so
lost,
out of his depth.
so lonely.
Yeah. But now, many of the players actually learn English, in China. There are many English speakers now in China, I find.
So from the first player you bought from China, Ding Junhui, you see this a successful model already. have you continued doing that to support importers to play it, get trains in the UK nowadays?
We're doing it, and because the market is so much bigger, and there are so many more countries to cover, we're doing it another way. We're actually now trying to take the snooker to the people instead of trying to bring the people to the snooker.
I see.
And this is part of our vision in the WPBSA about globalisation. We've developed something called the Q Tour. Q Tour is a secondary tour of events which goes on all over the world. Those events are small, they're in billiard clubs, they're low level, but actually what you can do is create 4 or 5 of those events in a territory where those players can compete. And we can create opportunities for the winners to come through to final stages or come through to the tour. So we're trying to expand our network much bigger.
So except Ding Junhui, what happens? What's the story for Wu Yize? Can you tell us about the new champion?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great story. It's heartwarming. I've known Wu Yize since he was very young. He actually, the first time I saw him, he was playing as a wild card. He obviously qualified through the amateur structures in China to play as a wild card in some of our major ranking events. And his father's been with him all these years, travelling with him and helping him. And I can remember the tears of the losses.
The tears.
And he nearly made it but didn't quite.
Really?
All of the stories.
Did he really cry out in front of you?
Yeah, all of the stories that you see. You know, I remember Wu Yize losing in I think the semi-finals of our World Amateur Championship, which is qualifying for the tour. He was so close 2 years before to making it to the tour, and he lost close, and they were all so upset. And I said, "Don't worry, you know, he'll make it. He's good. He's great, you know." And they stuck with it, and to see that moment, winning major championships, going on to win the World Championship. Seeing the family there going, yeah, we did it. It's a great feeling.
So were you the guy that he cried in front of you then?
Well, look, every player gets upset. Trust me.
Yeah.
This is a journey of highs and lows. Sport is about the highest highs and sometimes the lowest of lows. Sometimes you can't pick people up again. You know, some people it's so hard and. It's an emotional journey because everybody's so invested in it. And the difference between not making it and then perhaps looking at what you're going to do with your life and the difference between becoming world champion is so huge. And yet the line of standard of play is so fine. It's so small, really, especially today. The difference between the person that loses in the first round and the person that wins the World Championship.
Yeah.
If you saw them both side by side practicing, you would not know which one was going to win the World Championship. The standard is so high right across the tour. It's very tough sport.
It's very tough. It's yes. So the standard is so fine. It's just only people say might be the luck or the mental strength. Who knows, right?
There are so many aspects.
So many aspects.
I guess that's why sport's so entertaining.
So entertaining, so unpredictable,
yes.
Right? Yeah. You said that you're also very close to Wu Yize's parents, father. I wonder how close you are, and then are you a chairman of a big figure in front of them, or you're their friends?
No, I think my style of working is. I care deeply about the players. You know, I do. I care deeply about making sure everybody gets the same opportunity. I'll start from there. Wu Yize is an example of that because he was a young player who was playing in different structures, and our structures are so open that he can make it. He has the opportunity, the same opportunity as the next person.
So from the regulation point of view,
yes,
structure.
This is very strict in our organisation, and I think perhaps the players do see me as a figurehead type person.
Yeah, because you're the chairman.
But the fact is, they've all known me for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, they speak to me like the guy in the pub, you know.
Hey,
let's go for a beer. Come here, you know. But which I like, and actually one of my greatest rewards, I think, being an administrator all these years, has been being able to provide prosperity to the sport and prosperity to my friends that I grew up with and my fellow players, to see them all doing well. That I really love this.
So did you having a beer with the Weezer's family then?
They
don't drink beer, I guess.
No.
Baijiu, what about Baijiu?
Well, not yet, but we'll celebrate one day, I'm sure. But his father's a great character, and I've always been there.
The players, they're from, when you think about the Chinese players, they really quit their education in China, moved their family to the UK. Is a huge cost for the family.
It is. Yeah. And if there's one thing I can do from this day forward about the future, it's change the model. Because I have a dream. I left education, I was at 15. I'm lucky, I went on, I educated myself in life and studied and read books on company law and other things. I had to work really hard after playing snooker. But actually, there's no reason why people have to come out of education to play snooker. We need the systems in place where we have schools, we have universities, where we can have snooker training alongside degrees, where we can do business and sport, we can do anything, any study alongside this sport. But this sport could be the chosen sport for many universities and schools. This is something we're working on, an educational program where even if you go all the way through our system, you may turn left and end up on the World Snooker Tour and have a great time. But if you don't make it there, you can turn right and go into industry and lead companies. And, there is a future in this educational model. And I think something that China gets right is the education models. I've learned a lot from China.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell me about this academy structures, like run by Chinese community in Sheffield?
Yeah.
So Ding Junhui owns his own academy. Do you know what's the name?
Yes, so there's the Ding Junhui Academy, which is very big.
It's just called
It's
Ding
called
Junhui.
the Ding Junhui Academy, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's in Sheffield City Centre.
Yeah.
And there's another snooker player from India there who runs the academy for Ding called Lucky Vatnani.
Yeah.
And he's a really great guy. So it's a good place to go. There is also a second academy in the city centre called Victoria Academy, which incidentally is run by a lady called Victoria.
Oh yeah. And then you see Chinese players.
Well, Victoria is a Chinese descendant, and she looks after the Chinese players like a mother. She looks after all the young players, takes care of them, makes sure they've got their own little apartments, and she's been very successful because, Zhao Xintong was one of her...
Zhao Xintong is the one that's trains there?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, amongst many others. So most of the players are split between those two academies. They're both doing a great job. They're providing a safe environment for people that are a long way from home.
Oh, okay. So we know Ding Junhui as the godfather. Now you just tell me Victoria is the godmother.
Yeah, good one. Yeah.
Good one. Okay, we're looking forward to be able to meet them like in the show one day.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
The one thing that becomes clear to us, we want to give the sport to as many people as possible. It's a gift. Sport is a gift. And we want people to enjoy it, experience it. And what comes out of that is the development of elite talent. And it's very rewarding when you can look at your Chinese partners and they can look at us and say, look at that, we've got a world champion. Zhao Xintong lifting the title, first Asian to win the World Snooker Championship, and followed up very quickly by Wu Yize, is an amazing achievement, which started from very little.
Yeah, so now your business model is back to late 90s, so you bring the top potential players to the UK, totally immerse the trains there. And once they're bigger, so they have their influence, like a snowball effect.
Yes.
For their local country.
Yes.
And then possibly also destination is UK economy, UK competitions. Now you're doing the different ways, is you organize the local tournaments or events.
Yes.
To give it to the people, everybody had chance, and then the different layers. The finals is in
That's
the
correct.
UK.
That's correct.
Yes.
But actually, the model now, the World Snooker Tour, is global events. The tour was made up of just about all UK events, other than one or two. Most of the events were based in the UK, and now you're finding a split There's definitely a split between the UK, Europe and Asia that we can clearly see. The Middle East is coming in, and we've still got bits and pieces around other parts of the world. But you're seeing this global footprint for the sport, which means we have a responsibility to our host cities all over the world if we're going to be a global organisation.
Indeed.
So if we're working with, as we were working with Changping recently in Dongguan, we're working with Changping on women's snooker, to be a home for women's snooker. This is becoming part of their brand, and we're helping that city develop.
Become another Sheffield.
Exactly. Let's look at the World Open. The World Open takes place in Yushan, near Shanghai. This event began in a school hall. It now has a 4,000 seat stadium, a museum, an academy, a hall of fame. They now call this World Billiard City. They've even named the harbour side Snooker Bay. I mean, this is great development. I mean, this is an amazing story in itself, because we talk about host city development and working with cities and growing the sport. We have great partners in China. The China Billiards and Snooker Association, of course. But inside that, we also have Xingpai, the manufacturer of the #1 billiard table in the world.
Yes.
They're great partners of ours and been great supporters since those early days. But actually, they're also a real estate company. They also have other businesses. Yushan was the mountain for slate. Billiard tables are made from slate. So what happened with Xingpai was they moved towards the city of Yushan. We took an event with them to the city, developed the event, grew the market. But actually, the government came in as well and said, actually, this is great. This is part of our brand now, the World Open Snooker. We want to be World Billiard Sports City. We want to develop with you. Well, over a 10-year period, we now have a full regeneration program which has been delivered. And it's a great development. It's a great economic model when you look at it, because Xingpai moved nearer the Slate Mountain for economic and environmental reasons through the changes in China. And actually the model just worked.
And talk about like the city, like the benefits. Sheffield it's become it's a small northern part of England town, a city, but now I guess most of the people heard about that, and then I know a lot of the Chinese, they come to the UK, they have to go to Sheffield. Can you tell us about the story about that little town, little city, and what was it like, and why Sheffield, and then why still Sheffield in the future?
It's amazing, isn't it? Sheffield is now the centre of snooker globally. And you know, one time a day, you know, Sheffield was very similar to where I grew up. It was a industrial city. In China terms, it's a very small town, but actually in the UK terms, it's one of our major cities. Now, Sheffield was based upon the steel industry. So stainless steel, knives and forks, cutlery.
From miner to steel.
Unbelievable. The Sheffield steel industry was incredible worldwide. And so it really began that way. And I remember going to Sheffield as a young boy, and it was very dusty and dark, and you know, there was a lot of...
Which you used to.
Yeah, I was used to that growing up, you know, in the mining towns, but it was very run down and for a period. Today you're seeing buildings go up, modern apartments, new businesses, and you know, food from all over the world, and restaurants from everything we can. I mean, Sheffield is just brilliant now. It's just a brilliant, vibrant city. And I'm very proud to think that we're part of that.
Contribute
yeah,
a
we've
lot.
made a contribution. And, you know, even our business partners are, you know, we have people who have houses in the city we work with. We have many players living in the city. We have, you know, sponsors and partners and supporters. And it's really good because the economic model is that people are coming in from all over the world. I know you're from Beijing. If you walk down the street in Beijing and say, name me 3 cities in the UK, they'll probably go London,
Birmingham,
or Sheffield,
and
Manchester United.
Manchester.
People think that's
football.
a city. It's a football team.
Football club.
So you know, but it is one of those cities now which is internationally recognised because of its global footprint with snooker. So amongst other things in the past, of course. So it's really nice to see that development, and it's nice to see that development working now. Regeneration is coming of the Crucible Theatre. It's going to be made bigger. there's going to be more hospitality, there's going to be more opportunity to get fans in, to build new fan zones. And seeing that vibrance around the city when the snooker's on, it's great. It's different when you go back when it's not there.
So what was the story? Like, is the first tournament was there, and then also in the future?
Yeah, it was by chance really.
By chance only?
Yeah, because snooker was managed by a group of sort of players and former players, as it was back in the day. And actually the WPBSA was formed as a private club.
Oh wow!
It was a private club.
It's not government's body at all.
No, originally it wasn't. Originally it was a private club, and it was a group of players that wanted to look after players, and players used to do exhibitions and entertain people in clubs, and there were no events. But actually the world, a few events started to grow. The World Championship. A man called Mike Watterson, who lived in Chesterfield, just very close to Sheffield, his wife went to the theatre one night and called her husband immediately, and she said, "I'm in a theatre tonight, it's perfect for snooker." And he went over there, Mike Watterson, and he went, "Wow, this is great. We'll start the World Championship here." So, well over 40 years now, the World Snooker Championship at the Crucible Theatre. And actually the space hasn't changed that much. If you see the old photographs, it will change now.
It will change because they new investment, right?
But it does have a unique feeling. It's silent. You can hear a pin drop in there. It's a very well laid out theatre. It's very steep seating rake, so everybody's looking over the action. You're very close to it. It's very intimate. And that's why it's also a great theatre, a very well respected theatre. But for us it needs to be bigger. We're now a global market. We need to get more people in. We're under a lot of pressure.
So yeah, it's become a really, really well-known for Chinese audience. Everybody wants to pay a visit. So just want to give you behind the scene for the Jojo's Cross Border. So we are trying to reach out the former mayor of the Sheffield, and also I want to reach out some other Chinese community there. We're also trying to put a volunteer work supporting the Chinese players, training players and families. For example, like their food and accommodation, their nutrition and the mental health, and also the government support as well. So we're all working hard to support different players and then bring this snooker bigger.
Well, sure. I mean, listen, we'd be happy to make those connections for you. But I mean, Sheffield is great. It's a great city now. It's modern now. It's not industrial like it was.
And lovely people.
Lots
there,
of education. The people are great. But now we have a big Chinese community there.
They're big. Yeah.
Now we have great food and karaoke. I love it. We see things the same. We work together. We hand in hand build this sport for the benefit of everybody, and I think it's a great model. The diplomatic side of that is really powerful, and I think UK and China is a great example. I was honoured this year to be asked by the Prime Minister to accompany him to China on his trade mission, and I've been to the Great Hall of the People to do press conferences, believe it or not, but I've never been there on a diplomatic mission on the invitation of the Premier of China. And I think, I saw a different side to what we were doing, and the power and the scale of that's built a real bridge.
So Jason, thank you so much. I mean, I can surely see that you are the true bridge between, I wouldn't say East and West, I would say you're the bridge for all nations via snooker. Thank you, Jason.
Pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you.
You know it's ours.
Say it loud, no doubt. Say it loud, no doubt. I'm the main, can't dim